Basketball will save your life, man. We live in this society where sedentary motion is the norm, and I hate it. The average woman in America weighs 170 pounds. It's okay, women don't watch my channel, so it's, we're good. And if you are a lady watching this, I'm sure you don't weigh no 170. It's okay, don't worry about it. Basketball has saved my life, man. I've used this to fight arthritis and Crohn's since I was 14. That's why I made this channel, is to talk about basketball. I love this game. And I say all this to the last few videos, it's all about physical activity. I've been telling you what I've been doing, push-ups, chin-ups. What else have I talked about? I guess I haven't gone through everything yet, but we're getting there. Some of the things that I do, I don't like doing, like push-ups suck. I don't like doing push-ups. I like getting them done. I like once you're finished, it's awesome. It's like, oh, I did something. Let's fucking go. And my chin-ups too. Like once I'm finished with them, it's awesome. But before I do them, like working up the motivation to do them, it's like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm tired. Who cares? Why? You got to answer. That's the question. It's why. Why are you doing it? If you have Crohn's, if you have any chronic condition, if you're a human being, you need to be moving, because you're not healthy if you're not moving unless you just have fantastic genes. And I don't know if you see my face, but obviously I'm pretty fucking destroyed in that department. But anyway, you should move, man. And the key to finding your motivation for physical activity is to do stuff you like to do. If you force yourself to do stuff you hate, obviously you're going to be less motivated to do it, and you're going to find every excuse in the world not to do it. So find stuff you like to do. I don't like to do push-ups and chin-ups and riding my stationary bike and, doing kettlebell curls and stuff. I hate doing that stuff. But on the days that my arthritis is bad and I can't go play basketball, I do that because in the back of my head, I know that the key to longevity and staying as healthy as you can for as long as you can, the key to that is physical activity. And that's what motivates me, and I know a lot of people aren't going to be motivated in that way. So I'm telling you, find something that you like to do. For me, that's basketball. I am absolutely obsessed with basketball. I've gotten ridiculously good at this game. Not pro level, obviously, but you see, I can hoop. And it's because I've played for 30,000 hours of my life. And the reason I've done that is because arthritis has been so bad for me that I have been unable to walk before. My Crohn's has been so bad that I've been exhausted as hell and sick and just felt like crap for long periods of my life. And I know that when I come out of those flare-ups, that if I don't play basketball, that if I'm not physically active, if I don't exert myself as hard as I can, I think there's some placebo aspect to this too. To me, it feels like the disease is winning and that I'm not winning, because like I've talked about in these last few videos, it's a fight, man. It's a literal boxing match. You are fighting for your quality of life. Maybe this disease won't kill you. Maybe it will just make it so that you can't do things with your buddies, or you can't go out to eat like there's not a restaurant in town that I can go to without being in the bathroom for like 2 or 3 days because of my Crohn's. Like, if that is the case for you, you've got to figure out all alternative ways to stay healthy. And physical activity is maybe the foundation to that. There's a lot to it, and like I said, this whole series, I'm going to talk about everything I do. So, like, we're going to talk about food and nutrition at some point, but that's down the road. I think, I think it's easier to be physically active than to eat right, but that's a conversation for later. We'll do that later. The point that I'm making here, dude, is you need to drill into your head that if you're not physically active, you are losing quality days, possibly years of your life. When you're 60, when you're 70, when you're legitimately old as hell and don't, like, your body starts to legitimately fail you, that's where all of the work and the physical activity that you've done for the previous 30 years is going to help you maintain just a good quality of life into your 60s and 70s. I see so many old people who like didn't take care of themselves, like stayed sedentary for 20, 30 years, and it's just devastating to see how they move, how miserable they are. Their mood is shot because they're hurting all the time. I can relate to that because if you have Crohn's, you get it too. Dude, you're in pain pretty much all the time. So if you're in pain all the time, I don't know if this is true for you. It's true for me. My pain, pain threshold, or like, I can deal with a lot of pain because I'm in pain all the time. So physical activity can be painful, but it's something you got to push through, because if you don't, it's almost like it's like a pain tax. You got to pay that so that you alleviate some of that pain in the moment, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. God, I hope I don't sound like a dumbass. The point is, dude, figure out whatever physical activity you like to do and become obsessed with it, because your body will thank you when you're 60 and 70 if you can stay consistent at being physically active. I'm not even talking about being an Olympian. I'm saying don't lay on the couch 12 hours a day. Don't, if you have a desk job and you're sitting down 8 hours a day, great. Go home and work out for 2 hours. Run, walk, find a sport. That's another thing. Something that kills me is like, I go to the park all the time and get shots up. I play basketball as often as I possibly can, as often as my body allows me. And so often, there's 4 basketball courts, and there's not a single person there. I've got video of this too, I'll show it probably, but listen, I mean, sometimes it's really cool to go to a ball court and nobody's there. It's therapeutic, it's meditative, it's like just you and the hoop. It's awesome, but it's it's very discouraging when you go to the ball court 30 times in 2 months and there were only people there 3 or 4 of those times. It's like, okay, everybody's staying home. Nobody is getting out here and moving. And that's rough, man. Like, if I can do anything with these videos, man, it's if I can get people to move more and be more healthy through that physical activity, then that's a success, That's kind of the goal of this entire series, is I want to help you beat Crohn's, dude. I want to help you I have arthritis too. This is more of a Crohn's series, but, any chronic illness that you can still be physically active with, you need to be physically active, man. Human beings were not designed to lay on the couch 12 hours a day. I mean, unless you just want to be miserable. If you want to be miserable, keep going, man. Like, that's the way to stay mentally just dead. Like, no motivation whatsoever. Like, I feel, because the reason I say this and the reason I know it is because I've fallen into periods of sedentation, just being sedentary, because my arthritis acts up and I can't walk. And just because you can't walk doesn't mean you can't be physically active. It's just you have to be physically active in other ways. And in the past, when my arthritis has gotten bad enough, or my Crohn's has gotten bad enough, I have at times just laid on the couch, dude, and just moped around and been a little bitch. And sometimes, dude, it's so severe where that's okay. And man, life's not perfect, whatever, that's cool. But if you make that a habit, if you make that your life, you're fucked forever. You got to get out of that. You got to snap yourself out of that way of living, because it's not a way to live. It's a way to die. It's a way to just stay in pain and You're essentially communicating to your body that you don't need it to stay vital, to stay strong. So it's going to get weaker and weaker, and the disease is going to overcome you, and it's going to kick your ass. And that's just as simple as I can put it, man. You got to work harder than the disease is working, because the disease doesn't stop. Find something that you can obsess over and make sure it's physically active. Swimming is awesome. Rowing, or canoeing and shit, that's fucking awesome. Just stuff that you can do. Whatever you think you can do, try it. See if you like it, and then stick to it, Make that your thing. You'll meet people this way. It's funny because it goes beyond just physical health. It's social health. It's you're going to go meet people, and you'll make friends and stuff, in this society of staring at your phone for 8 hours a day and you don't meet anybody, and we're all interconnected through the internet and everything. It's no, that's not the way to do it. It's not. The human beings are not designed for that. We need face-to-face interaction, and we need to talk to people. And a great way to do that is to find a hobby that is physically stressful to some degree. Run clubs are cool. I hate running, so I'm not much of a, I force myself to do it sometimes. But for me, basketball is my thing, man. I've met thousands of people playing basketball. It's awesome, dude. Some of my best friends I met through playing ball. So find something that you can do, that you like, and that you can obsess over, that's physically active. And if you can meet people and get buddies and stuff who do the same thing, it'll be that much easier for you to do, because now you're motivated to go do the physical activity because you're going to feel better when you're done, and you're going to see your buddies. So there's only so much I can say. You just got to do it, man. So do it.